Pat Scanlon along with Jeff Smith, scheduled for the U.S. Light Welterweight Championship. The FFKA, Randy Reno, and Curtis Bush. Let's take a look at the rules for ESPN Championship Karate, according to the FFKA and Terry Nye, the commissioner. Scoring on the 10-point must system. The standing 8 count is in effect in Pennsylvania. Also, the 3 knockdown rule. If a fighter is knocked down 3 times in 1 round, the fight is over. A fighter can only be saved by the bell in the last round, and each fighter must make 8 kicks as scored by the judges per round, or be penalized up to a point or 2 points per round. Right now, let's go into the ring and join our announcer, Lee J. Nelson.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Sheraton Lancaster Golf Resort and Conference Center in beautiful Lancaster, Pennsylvania, for an evening of ESPN Championship Karate. These fights are sanctioned by the Pennsylvania Athletic Commission Commissioner Howard McCall. Officials at ringside, we have Greg Sherb, Executive Director, and George Miller, Deputy. Our judges are Mike Gerhardt, Marvin Preston, and Gene Gockenhauer. Our referee for this match is Paul Kears. And now, ladies and gentlemen, let's throw some dynamite. This fight is an FFKA 9-round United States Light Welterweight Championship bout. Introducing in the red corner, he's from Belleville, Michigan. He's 5 feet 11 and a half inches tall and weighed in today at 147 pounds. He has a record of 19 wins, 7 losses, 13 wins by knockout. Please welcome, in the red corner, rumbling Randy Reno. And his opponent, in the blue corner, he's from Virginia Beach, Virginia. He's 6 feet tall and weighed in at 149 and a half pounds. He has a record of 32 wins, 4 losses, and 2 draws, 25 of those wins by knockout. He is the current FFKA champion. Please welcome Curtis, the explosive Thin Man Bush.
Well, Curtis Bush, the pride of Virginia Beach, Virginia, 26 years old. As we take a look at Paul Kears giving final instructions to our fighters, and then rumbling Randy Reno from Belleville, Michigan, 31 years of age. Turned pro back in 1980. Experienced fighter. He's been around. He's done quite a bit in the boxing gyms as well. And we are underway. Round number 1 scheduled for 9. Well, rumbling Randy Reno, Jeff, on the left side of our screen. It'll be interesting to see how his boxing ability matches his kicking ability.
Well, he has the experience. He's trained with Sean O'Grady's father in the boxing gym. Nice little front leg hook kick there by Curtis Bush. It's a good.
I don't think you ever saw a kick like that in Sean O'Grady's gym.
That's for sure. But he has trained with some good people. He's a 4th degree black belt in American Taekwondo. He's trained with Jim Buten in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, who was one of my first title defenses against. So he's had some good coaching. So let's see how he fares in this match against a heavy opponent like Curtis Bush.
You wouldn't have brought that up if you hadn't beaten him. Both fighters very cautious in the early going here.
You have to realize Curtis Bush has not seen Randy Reno fight before, and he knows his experience. I mean, he's been around for a while. Doesn't have as good a record as Curtis Bush, but you don't want to make a mistake in there in the early round.
Bush, of course, won the U.S. title in May of 1989 with that 4th round knockout of Chuck Cypress. We brought you here on ESPN.
Curtis is not a fast starter anyway in his fights, and sometimes he's been known to get knocked down early in the fight and then come back and win the thing. But so he's probably just pacing it out here, getting the feel.
Final seconds of round number 1. 2-minute rounds in full contact karate. And this one might be tough to score, Jeff.
it was just a feel-out round, and so neither fighter, I don't think, it didn't look like either fighter was trying to win those rounds. It's not a bad, it wouldn't have been a bad strategy on Randy Reno's part to come in a little hard towards the end of the round, because that would have been, that's what you call steal a round, and he could have done that because neither fighter had dominated up until the last 30 seconds.
There is the corner of Curtis Bush, the trainer George Kelly, and Chris Bush, his brother.
There's that hook kick, comes up and smacks him right in the face. Not a lot of damage, but does get his attention.
And of course, those boots are open. It's an open-soled protective padding. And that time you eat a little foot.
Yeah, you can catch a heel in the mouth, and that's pretty effective sometimes.
Okay, Randy Reno against the champion, Curtis Bush. Round number 2.
Both these fighters have good basics, though. I mean, you see some guys in there that can punch better than they can kick, and kick better than they can punch. Both these guys look pretty well matched. They've got nice kicks. Their hands look good. They carry their hands nicely. So both well-trained fighters.
Curtis trying the spinning kick, then a spinning fist.
You see Randy trying a little foot sweep in there. You can sweep your opponent's foot to break his balance, and sometimes you get him off balance and you hit him with a left hook or a right hand and you can take him down. Get a knockdown on it.
Reno's corner exhorting him to fight underneath. That kick just taking out the gloves of Reno. Each fighter must make 8 kicks per round.
Both fighters have good eye contact. I like to see that when they're in there. Both of them got their chin down, looking right at their opponent, focusing in.
Spinning attempt by Randy Reno. Not doing much damage, however, as we move into the final 20 seconds of round number 2.
I don't think anybody's figured the other one out yet. That's why they're both still a little cautious. They're just picking. They're not.
Good left hand that time by Curtis Bush. 10 seconds left now. As Bush tries to put together a few punches at the end of round number 2. We'll be right back. And we're back at the Sheraton Lancaster Golf Resort and Conference Center. I'm Pat Scanlon along with Jeff Smith. Certainly enjoyed our stay here in what is a hotbed for full contact karate. Good crowd on hand at the convention center here. About 1,200 strong.
Here's a little action from that last round. There's that stiff left hand of Curtis Bush.
And now we have round number 3.
I think that closing of that last round was a nice missing puzzle piece for Curtis Bush. He now knows that he can hit Randy with that left hand. And I think we'll be watching him trying to set that up a little bit this round.
Good kick that time to the head of Reno by Bush. Curtis with those long legs. And Curtis looking to land that left.
Reno needs to move a little bit more and stay a little busy. When you're just sitting there waiting, you become a setting target for your opponent. And that can be dangerous sometimes, especially somebody with the power of a Curtis Bush.
Bush has taken out 25 of his opponents. By knockout.
See, he doesn't want to just sit there on the end and wait for Bush to throw. That's very dangerous.
One more, right?
Reno's corner wants him to throw the uppercut when Bush comes in like that.
Or get inside. Reno seemed to do pretty good when he was inside, but you can't do much just sitting out in front. Like he had a little bit of a low kick there too. But Randy does pretty good inside there.
Stumbles off the front kick. Final seconds, round number 3. Good front kicks by Curtis Bush. And again, ending the round with a flurry to influence the judges.
So far, it doesn't look like Randy is trying to win this fight per se. It looks like he's just trying to figure out Curtis Bush a little bit here. You see his corner, Greg Owens and Kelly Croy. He's the head instructor there at Croy Boys Gym. That's in Michigan, Belleville.
Kelly Croy, quite a story in himself, still fighting at 41 years of age. Now we take a look into the corner of Curtis Bush with Greg Kelly and Chris Bush applying the ice pack.
Curtis looks very refreshed, very relaxed. Randy looks, his face a little red, got a little swelling around that left eye.
Towel off the rope, please. Seconds, towels off the rope.
And he's going to have to start picking up the pace a little bit here if he hopes to take this title away from Curtis.
Round 4, Curtis, the FFKA U.S. light welterweight champion. And Randy missing and hanging up his leg on the top rope.
He did a step through reverse hook kick. It was a nice move, but just needed a little more speed on it. Curtis just stepped out of the way.
You need your opponent to stand there too.
Yeah, it helps if they quit moving.
Bush effective with the front kick and then the spinning hook kick.
See that last kick that Curtis Bush threw? That was the same thing as Randy threw, except he threw a reverse side kick. He did a step through and then a reverse side kick rather than a hook kick.
Curtis using that left to the head.
That's where Randy does not want to be.
This one for the U.S. Light Welterweight Championship. Curtis Bush and rumbling Randy Reno.
Randy is letting Curtis set the tempo of this fight, and he's letting Curtis control this fight. And you can't do that if you expect to break your opponent's rhythm and get him in an uncomfortable situation. You've got to create your openings, get him off balance, not put him in the environment he's comfortable with. And Curtis is very comfortable and relaxed in this position right now.
Now final 10 seconds of round number 4. Let's see if Curtis goes to work. Yes, he does again. And so we'll take a break. More ESPN Championship Karate right after this. Curtis Bush, who won the U.S. title against Chuck Cypress back in May of 1989, a 4th-round knockout, seems to have this one in control against Randy Reno. As we take a look at earlier action, good right hand here.
Right hook. Stepped inside of that kick. That's good footwork by Curtis Bush, just stepping right inside and throwing that right hook.
And you can notice a small cut over the left eye of Randy Reno.
Kelly Croy was taking care of it in the corner, trying to put a little ice on it, keep the swelling down and put a little pressure to stop the bleeding. It's a very dangerous position because it's above the eye. If it opens there, the blood gets into the eye, it can block your vision, and that's when the doctors will stop the fight.
Well, we've seen it. Now let's see if Curtis sees it and goes to work on it. Reno has been content to stay along the ropes and let Curtis Bush bring the fight to him.
His corner should be telling him, if you want to win this round, you better get in and start mixing it up. because that eye might not stay closed for too many more rounds.
Curtis has been doubling up on that left hand.
Curtis is starting to pick up the tempo a little bit in this round. Randy had told me that he has seen Curtis fight on numerous occasions and has a lot of respect for him. Sometimes when you get in with somebody like that, you give them too much respect and they take advantage of it.
Good left hand by Bush, who was measuring Randy Reno along the ropes.
Nice reverse kick. Looked like it might have caught him a little on the gloves, but it still took a little bit out of him.
Hey, you talk about the versatility of Curtis Bush. A very good counter fighter. That's a spinning back kick. But he's more or less had to take the fight to Reno this time. Final seconds, round number 5. And not much time now for Curtis Bush.
Curtis Bush, though, throwing front leg kicks, back leg kicks, jabs, hooks. He's mixing his techniques. You see the eye of Randy Reno there. There's Kelly Croy with the little pressure from his corner there. Greg Owens in the ring with him.
Putting the cold anvil above the eye to freeze the area, stop the bleeding. Here's a reverse kick, Jeff, by Bush.
It's hard to see whether that landed from that angle. Let's look at it from another angle. Boom, driving his arm into his body, but it still pushes that air out of your body and it'll do some damage. Curtis Bush still looking very refreshed. Now, one thing that Randy's corner did not do after they took the answell off his eye, they didn't put Vaseline on it. You need to hit that with a gob of Vaseline. You see the Vaseline on it from the last round, but they didn't put a new gob after they took the cold off of the eye.
Round 6, scheduled for 9, U.S. Light Welterweight Championship. Curtis Bush in the black pants against Rumblin' Randy Reno in the yellow.
Hold the time.
Paul Cares wants to hold the time. He wants that black belt.
His belt was coming untied, so
Tightened up.
referee's going to just have him take it off.
To reveal the Reno on his pants.
Curtis using that front kick well. Front leg hook kicks, front leg round kicks. Mixing up that front leg. Just picking those shots.
Randy thinking about a leg sweep. Deciding against it.
If Curtis was to put some pressure on Randy and just get in there and start mixing up a little bit, I think he could end this fight early, but he seems to be a little cautious here. He probably feels he has total control of this fight. There's no way he's going to lose it, feels confident, so he's not going to make it any harder than he has to.
And Randy needs one more kick to make his 8 for this round. I expected more infighting from Reno. Okay, off the flurry by Curtis Bush, we'll take a break and come back to Lancaster, Pennsylvania for more ESPN Championship Karate right after this. The FFKA U.S. Light Welterweight Championship. On the line, Curtis Bush, the defending champion, against Rumblin' Randy Reno. Reno in yellow, Bush in black. Good kick by Curtis Bush.
He just kissed that foot again. That's about the third or fourth one of those that Randy caught.
Round number 7, scheduled for 9. See if Curtis picks it up a little bit here.
It appears to me that Randy is fighting like he's worried about his conditioning. When you're fighting for a title, you can't just sit back and wait. You've got to go out there and take the title. But he looks like he's a little concerned about his conditioning. He doesn't want to burn out, so he's just sitting back and letting Curtis control the tempo of this fight.
Of course, you're not paid by the round. You're paid to take the guy out or win by decision.
You notice when Curtis throws those kicks, he has a nice knee action where he snaps the kick at the end. And as he lifts up the knee, sometimes you'll thrust it to the body, sometimes you'll snap it up over with a quick whip action to land it up to the face. And that's why those kicks are landing flush on his mouth without Reno picking his hands up and blocking him, is because of that knee action at the last second.
When you see the fight from Randy Reno's perspective as Bush continues to take it to him. Randy missing on a spinning back kick.
One more, Randy. One more time.
Randy seems to have the right techniques and the abilities, but it just doesn't seem like he's turning up the speed. He's not turning up the gas to make it happen. If I was in his corner, I'd be telling him to build a fire underneath his seat when he sits down there to get him moving.
10 seconds left now. Round number 7. Randy trying to sweep, but ineffective. Well, the fans here at the Sheridan Lancaster have certainly turned out in force for this FFKA full contact event. And there's a good look at the left eye of Randy Reno. And Jeff, somebody's listening to you, because there's certainly gobs of Vaseline on the face of Randy now.
He needs that, but he looks pretty tired over there.
Kelly Croy and Greg Owens to the left, working Reno's corner. The Croy boy is jitting.
He only has 2 rounds left. He's either thinking, I just want to survive, or he's going to think, I want to go out here and steal this fight. Here's that reverse kick. Watch that hook come right, caught him right in the chin, just slapped him. Using those slap kicks.
8th round now. Reno and Bush. And maybe they did light a little fire under Randy Reno. He comes out punching. Most life we've seen out of Randy.
I would have definitely told him in the corner, you only have 4 minutes. Do you want to be the U.S. champion or not? Get out there and do it. He would definitely have to have 2 big rounds and a knockdown or a knockout to pull off a victory in this fight, but it's still possible.
You see the kick counter to the left, counting Curtis Bush's kicks. He has 4 at this point, and Reno has 3. Not a damaging blow by Bush.
It doesn't appear that the blows that Randy are throwing are doing anything to Curtis. He just keeps marching on, but Randy is definitely absorbing those blows, but he's not answering back. And there's nothing wrong with getting hit in this sport. You're going to do it, but you've got to punish your opponent when he does it.
Well, his corner wanting Randy to box Curtis Bush.
Well, at this point, box, kick, anything but do something. You got to at least go down swinging. You don't want to get caught with the bat on your shoulder.
Okay, we'll be back for the 9th and final round right after this. Round 9 from the Sheridan Lancaster, Randy Reno and Curtis Bush for the FFKA U.S. Light Welterweight Championship.
Now those are some nice body shots, nice combinations, but they didn't do any damage. Those you need over a longer period. Here you look at Curtis came back after that and landed a few more harder ones. And that's the difference in this fight is Curtis's punches seem to be landing harder.
And Randy now, knowing that he has to really not push out to win this title, comes out punching. But a good front kick by Bush.
He was off balance, but I'm sure he was saving. It sounds like his energy level was not there, and he said, I'm going to save it all up for this last round and try to go for broke.
And Bush floored him with a front kick.
And this is where championships are decided sometimes in this final round.
Now we'll see if Reno has anything left for the rest of this round, or did he spend himself in the opening flurry?
Well, he definitely didn't get tired from throwing techniques. If anything, it was from absorbing all those blows that Bush has been hitting him with this whole fight. And of course, it could have been the short notice that he took that fight, that he didn't have the steam that he needed, but when Reno goes all out, he looks like that he is a legitimate contender and a good fighter. But when he's holding back and not throwing like that, he's making an easy game for Curtis Bush.
Curtis Bush scoring with a good front kick, 20 seconds away from defending his U.S. championship.
That was a nice head kick there by Curtis Bush, too. He'd like to have another head kick knockout. He's had 8 of them. Reno seemed to run out of the gas. It started that round with just a few things and stopped it out.
Well, there it is. Both fighters surviving this 9-round bout. And you would have to think that Curtis Bush, who holds the title, they usually say if you're going to take the championship belt away from the champion, you've got to knock him out or certainly dominate him. And Rumble and Randy Reno did neither. Let's take a look at the earlier action, round 9, as Reno came out punching.
Now, Reno needed to be doing this the whole round. You know, sometimes guys get in there and they think they're tired. They're not really tired. They just think they are because they're a little winded. But he still has muscle endurance. Those punches, he still has the speed on them. He just needed somebody to put a fire underneath the seat over there and holler at him a little bit in the corner and make him work, because he just was not working to the speed that he needed to win this fight.
And a good look at the defending champion, Curtis, the explosive thin man Bush. We'll be back with the decision right after this. Lancaster, Pennsylvania. I'm Pat Scanlon along with Jeff Smith, awaiting the decision of this 9-round U.S. Light Welterweight Championship between Randy Reno and Curtis Bush. And Reno took some punishment, Jeff.
There's one of those numerous side kicks. One of those, he blocked a few of them, but he took them a lot. And Reno just looked like he was content in finishing this fight.
Well, Curtis Bush is the defending FFKA U.S. Light Welterweight Champion. Right now, let's go to our ring announcer, Lee J. Nelson.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a unanimous decision. Judge 1 scores it 82-89. Judge 2, 81-90. Judge 3, 84-90. The winner and still champion, Curtis Bush.
Well, Curtis Bush improving his record now to 33-4-2, 25 by knockouts, winning the unanimous decision, and really was never in doubt. Randy Reno trying to stay along the ropes, and Curtis Bush rewarded for taking the fight to Reno and defending his FFKA U.S. Light Welterweight Championship. Now let's get ready to go into the ring and join my partner, Jeff Smith. Jeff.
And we're in the ring with our defending champion, and he defended the title, and we have our FFKA president, Terry Nye, to present the belt.
Curtis, good fight. Looked real good as usual. A little slow start, but you ended up doing real good. Let's put this around your body. Any surprises here with this guy?
He was really very, very tough, and he was awkward. My hat's off to Randy Reno. He came to fight. I tried purposely to get some rounds in tonight. My last fight I went 4 rounds, and I haven't fought in about 8 months. So, I told my corner I'm gonna try to get as much work in as I can, and it's scary to hear a decision because I'm usually on the wrong side of a decision, but I'm glad I got the work in. I really needed it. It'd be nicer to get a knockout, but you got to take them as they come.
I was really surprised the guy had as much endurance as he did, taking a fight on a short notice. Did that surprise you any?
Well, not really, because I've taken a lot of my fights on short notice. My biggest fights have been on short notice, and when you take a fight on short notice, it does something to you mentally. You want to prove a point, and Randy, he came to prove that, hey, no matter what happens, he's gonna be there until the end. And I got a lot of respect for Randy for hanging in there, because I know he was tired, but the guy had guts. He had a lot of guts.
Well, he definitely looked like he let you control the tempo of this fight. It looked like if you wanted to fight a little harder, he was ready to do that, but he let you control the tempo, and I felt that that made a big difference in the fight.
Yeah, usually I fight to what my opponent fights to. If he comes out hard, I'll come out hard. If he comes out lighter, I'll work a little more lighter. But the thing I was trying to work on today was a lot of side-to-side movement, try to make him miss, and establish my jab and my kicks. Usually when I go in a fight, I usually depend a lot on my hands. This time I really wanted to establish my kicking ability and show people that I can kick and I can slip, because I doubt I got hit but a few times every round, because my movement was working today.
Well, it definitely looked like an easy win for you, and it looked like that you could have made it a little harder work. It looked like, looking from the outside in, that if you would have went in on any one round and put the pressure on him, did you know that you opened that cut early in the round and that you could have finished it maybe earlier if you'd have put some pressure on a little more early?
Well, I knew his eyes were getting red, but without my glasses on, I really couldn't tell if he was cut or just an abrasion. So I didn't know he was bleeding. But hey, I'm glad I got the work in. I really did need the work.
Well, he definitely proved that he is the champion and still the champion. And for FFKA and our president Terry Nye and Jeff Smith, we'll be back right after this.